This is a Rolex Air King from the 1970s. What could possibly go wrong? Et voila! And that is a pretty movement. Will the watch fire back up? So just coming in really carefully now with the balance. Okay, we have a major issue, but it is not with the watch. My camera, it's not working properly. This is the monitor I use, this thing here, to shoot the videos, and it don't work. It stopped. And show you what it looks like through there. Oh yeah, look. So I can shoot it like that. That's how I am going to have to shoot the rest of this film. What a nightmare. Now this little Fuji, this was the Fallback Camera. What was I thinking? I mean, it's a really nice camera if you want to take the kids to the zoo. But for what I do, it's really not the thing. Now, I really need to use a manual camera because before YouTube, this is what I did most of my photography on. In fact, it's hard to say how much I love this camera. If you just take the back off here, you have nice lumps of real film in there, and you can wind the camera on, and oh, look at that! This is like big proper photography. Oh, we love that. I mean, what even is this lot here? I guess that's manual. C1, C2, no idea. Oh, movie mode, that looks the one for me. So, right, where do we stick the macro lens? Does this come off? Nope, that's how you turn it on. Okay. So, when I have a backup camera, I need it to look like this. It should really look exactly the same as the primary camera, and as you can see, this is what I shoot my videos on. I can set the shutter speed, I've got exposure compensation here, I can set the ISO here, I can set the aperture here, and that actually appears in the viewfinder. So yeah, this is much more realistic. This would be, one of these would be a real fallback camera, because that means I could just like get it on and shoot. But this was an exercise in ticking the box to say that I had a fallback camera. Okay, let's get back to the watch. And considering I didn't have a monitor, the footage isn't all that bad. Okay, it's a little bit dark, but this is where we left off. I'm just putting the balance back in, and as you can see, this lovely Rolex Air King is straight off. In fact, watchmakers out there, check out the way that this picks up amplitude. That's really nice. Now, I am not a case or bracelet refinisher or master polisher, but quite capable of bringing some life back into a pretty nastily scratched case like this, if that is what the owner of the watch wants, which in this case he does. Now, I tend to put out a video about once a month, sometimes a little bit more frequently than that. But if you want to stay up to date with what's going on in the interim, then I am live about 2 or 3 days a week on Instagram. So have a look at that. this little port on the side of my camera, I reckon that is an HDMI out port, which means that I can fix up to this camera a super duper new monitor, which will negate the need for me using the broken monitor. So Amazon to the rescue, and as you can see, I have already purchased this monitor, which looks just amazing. I mean, check out all of the control that I will have using this thing. And there's the HDMI, so it connects to my camera, no problem at all. We will be up and running in a jiffy. This is very exciting. Plus, you get a free holiday in Greece by the looks of it. And koneko to inu kore wa honto kawaii desu yo ne? I love this. I'm so excited for this. And back with the Rolex Air King, for which I have got a nice new crystal. Now, this is the old one, if you remember from the first video, and you can see that it's really badly scratched. So we need this nice new crystal. Now, you have to be a little bit careful with these because they are acrylic in the older Rolexes, and just see me cleaning it there. They're quite easy to scratch, and that's, you know, a really bad thing. You don't want to be giving it back after a service with a nice new scratch on a new acrylic. So we're just placing it really carefully now back on the case, and once it's on there, just again give it a little bit of a blow off so that there's nothing to scratch it whilst we press the bezel on. And you can see I've placed the bezel there over the crystal, and as you press down, that forces everything into place. And you can see I'm just putting a little bit of thin polystyrene there, again just to protect everything as it goes down. Now, the nice thing about working on a Rolex is that pretty much all the time everything just fits. So stuff like this is actually easy. Sometimes in other brands, perhaps not quite so well engineered, stuff doesn't fit, but with a Rolex it just seems to go together really nicely. And here it is, just in the nick of time as I'm about to shoot a rare Rolex mil sub. I don't know why they called this thing TimbreCod. It's really weird. But anyway, Amazon to the rescue. Now I have gone into sensory overload because will you check out the loveliness that is here. This monitor is absolutely amazing. I mean, just look at all the detail I've got here. I've got color grading, I've got audio, and this is going to make such a difference to shooting my films. But you'll notice that I've just got a picture on there. Actually, that watch is nice, isn't it? That's really nice. That's my watch, that under my own brand Major, which was my rank when I left the British Army. And check out the link in the description. So I've been feeling maybe a little bit too pleased with myself about this workaround, because the reality is it doesn't work. My Fuji XT-1 will only feed the monitor in playback. So when I'm shooting my film, it doesn't work, and it's so nice. So I'm gonna need to upgrade my camera if I want this to work in playback, because at the moment all I can do is play back the pictures that I have already taken. But if I want to actually use it for shooting my videos, then I am going to need to upgrade to a Fuji XT2, 3 or 4, and they are really expensive. Anyway, More of that later. Onward. Okay, back with the watch, and I do apologise for my footage without a monitor because this is a bit of a random clip of the newly cleaned automatic works. And turning now to the hands, because we're about to put those back on the watch. Now, when I looked in detail at the hands, they were quite mucky, so I gave them a little bit of a nice clean, and I'm sorry the footage is a little bit dark, but hey, in a minute I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna improve my game on that, and it gets even worse. Look at this. Oh, that was the worst piece of watchmaking footage on YouTube ever. Anyway, we've got the hand on, and let's have a look at the what we can take away from all of this. Okay, what are the takeaways from this video? Well, firstly, if you've got a backup plan, make sure you're not just ticking the box. Make sure it's a real thing. And you need a backup pen because this one is rubbish. There we are. And I can't spell backup, but that's by the by. Anyway, my backup plan was a Fuji XT-20 with a Fuji XT-1. This was rubbish for a load of reasons that I've already been through. Much better to fix up the Fuji XT-1, and I have a new screen for it already, and then get an XT greater than 1, 2, 3 or 4, and use that as the primary camera. This has loads and loads of benefits because I know how to use both of the cameras. The lenses fit both of the cameras, and with the Fuji XT2, 3 or 4 I can shoot in log. At least I can with the 3 and the 4. The issue of course is money. Anyway, let's finish up Darren's dad's watch, and this next bit you're going to see now is the bit that I actually really like doing, and that is recasing the watch when it's all finished. Let's have a look at this.